Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Are we good? Is everyone good? I feel like you guys are a little lopsided. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to adjust it here a little bit. Maybe. It'll work. It'll work as long as I don't lose you. Okay. All right. So yeah. So the devil just he has issues with certain things being discussed. And evidently, his stinking thinking is not something that he wants us to get rid of. So we are just going to show him that we have the perseverance to go ahead and get through that anyway. So we're going to try this again. And it may have been for the best because y'all, I didn't even get a chance to introduce myself. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Buffy Hood. I am a jeweler with Premier Designs. I've been with them for 9 years. They are a direct sales company, but we consider ourselves to be a direct service company as we care more about people than what we do about profits. So thank you so very much for joining. For those of you who think that perhaps somebody on your following list might enjoy hearing this today, please feel free to go ahead and share this broadcast. Those of you who are here live or on the replay on Periscope, please don't forget that those hearts do work. So if you get a lovely little tap on the screen, that's just going to let me know that you're here, that you're enjoying what you're hearing, and that I'm providing you with some kind of useful content. Those of you watching on YouTube, again, thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd ever like to join us during the live broadcast so that you can be a part of the interaction as well, please come on over to the Periscope app and you can find me at Buffy Hood. All right. So let's try this again. Okay, so we need to get to a point where we are thinking more positive and getting rid of the stinking thinking. Just like the example that I used was just like if you had a bug that suddenly came in your hair, you grab it and you toss it away, okay? That's the same thing that we need to do with all those stinking thinking thoughts that come into our head, okay? So here's what you do there, all right? When you have those stinking thinking thoughts that come in, you must replace those with positive thoughts instead, okay? So as an example, let's say you put on, I don't know, you put on a certain top that perhaps you put it on and you're just like, oh, okay. There's days where I put on certain clothes and I'm like, man, I feel like a busted can of biscuits, which is exactly why I'm working out after the Periscope today. Okay, so here's the thing. But when I put on a different top that I feel good in, that fits me well, it changes my whole perspective of where I am with my opinion of my body image. Does that make sense? Okay, so you literally have to replace a negative image or a negative thought with a positive image or a positive thought. Okay, maybe you might have something that you're just not excelling at the way that you had hoped. Okay, then here's the thing. Don't focus on the fact that you have not yet excelled at what it is that you're trying to do, but instead, I know, right? But instead, you want to focus on what you can do to improve or focus on what it is that you are already good at. And remind yourself that, you know what, I don't have to be a master of all trades, okay? But I can be really good at this, or I can be really good at this, or I am really good at this or this. Does that make sense to y'all? So there are a couple things that we're going to look at in terms of that positive thinking and why it is so very important, okay? First off, this might come as a shock to some of you, okay? But happiness is a choice, okay? Can we get an amen on that? Happiness is a choice, all right? I've had people in my past who were just negative about everything, and they would sit there and go, well, you know what? I'm not negative. I'm just a realist. No, you be negative. It has nothing to do with being a realist, okay? Yes. So here's the thing. You absolutely have a choice to be happy regardless. All right. So you can be happy regardless of where you are in your weight. You can be happy regardless of where you are in your business. You can be happy regardless of where you are in your finances. All right. I have met people who live on the street who are happier than people who are, out there busting their tail and have all kinds of money and IRAs and this and this and this, and they're not happy. Okay. But the person who's on the street who has literally nothing has a smile on the face. Okay. So you got to think about that. All right. Happiness is a choice. So don't sit around going, well, this is just who I am. This is just who I am. No, it's who you choose to be. It's not who you are. Okay. It's the attitude that you have chosen to take on. So instead of taking on an attitude of being grumpy, okay, yes, my premiere makes me happy too. Okay, so instead of taking on the attitude of being grumpy, of being miserable, of being supposedly a realist, which is just another word for being negative, okay, instead of taking on those attitudes, take on an attitude of happiness, okay, develop that and say, you know what, it doesn't matter what the rest of my world looks like today. I'm going to choose to be happy. Point blank. Okay. Because here's the thing, you're going to get so many benefits from that. It's not even funny. All right. So the first is motivation. Now, y'all may know already how I feel about the word motivation. Okay. Because I feel like people use motivation, the word, as though it is some separate entity that's going to come kick them up off the couch when they don't really want to work, okay? Where they'll say, well, I just can't find the motivation, okay? Well, listen, motivation is not a thing, okay? It's an attitude, all right? It's an inner feeling, okay? And if you have not found it, it's because you have chosen to give it up. Okay, so here's what I would say is I want you to also think about the word motivation as what it really is, which is desire. Okay, so when people say, well, I just can't find the motivation, that's another way of saying I don't have the desire. Okay, does that make sense? When people say, I just can't seem to get motivated to work out, it's because you don't have the desire to work out. Or I just can't get motivated to get on the phone and work my business. It's because you don't have the desire to do it. Does this make sense? Okay, thank you. Right? it is an ouch, but here's the thing. People use motivation as an excuse to not do things. Right? It's because we're choosing to be lazy. We are making a choice, okay? And I have done a training before on motivation where I was, seriously saying, here's the thing. There is no separate entity that's going to kick you up off the couch and make you go work. There's no separate entity that's going to come and knock those potato chips out of your hand. Okay, there's no separate entity that is going to come wake you up in the wee hours of the morning to get a jump start on your day. That is a choice that you make, period. Okay, so what we're really saying is I've made a choice to do it or I've made a choice not to do it. Okay, I have made a choice to do it or a choice not to do it. All right, it's not that your life is lacking something, that it's lacking motivation. No, you simply have made a decision not to do it because you do not have the desire to do it. Okay, so that's where you have to ask yourself, does your desire match your dreams? Okay, does your desire match your dreams? Because your desire is what is needed in order for you to get out there and go do the things that you need to do. You need to have a desire to work toward those dreams in order to make it happen. Okay, but here's the thing, having the positive thinking of, you know what, here's the thing, it's going to kind of suck to have to do this particular thing, but man, that outcome, that result that I could be getting is going to be so far worth anything that I went through. I'll have to keep that in mind. Think like heaven. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. I have about 50 books that I have been wanting to read, needing to read, and I just haven't done it. So I'm gonna try to get through the ones that I have first, and then we'll get on to that. But yes, so positive thinking is going to help in terms of it's going to allow your desire to stay there. When you're having that stinking thinking and you're doing the whole, well, I just can't do that, or I just don't have the desire to do that, or I just don't have the motivation to do that. Okay. When you're having that kind of going through your head, it's going to be very easy for you to use that as an excuse to not do anything, because you can blame it on lack of motivation. Okay. Stop using that as an excuse and be a big girl and realize that you are making a decision to either do something or not to do something. Okay. All right. Now, that being said, positive thinking will, of course, make you want to do those things. Okay. So instead of you making a decision to not do it, if you're thinking positive and you're thinking about all the benefits you're going to get out of doing that one task that you might not really appreciate doing all that much. Okay. If you're focusing on the potential result, it may work. Okay. Yes. And here's the funny thing about that. Some people use their kids as the reason. Some people use their kids as the excuse. Make sure that you're using your children, your family, your husband, etc., as the reason for doing why what you're doing and why you're doing it, instead of it being that you're using them as an excuse as to why you can't do those things. Okay, good point. All right, the next one that it helps with. There you go, Jennifer. The next one that it helps with, as far as having that positive thinking, is truly your self-esteem. All right. Now, we have talked before about the importance of, getting up, getting yourself ready for the day and things like that, because of what that does to you in here. Okay. Because of what it does to you inside. It makes you suddenly feel more productive. Just the fact that you got up and got dressed and you're not sitting around in your loungewear, you feel more productive. The reason is because your self-esteem is higher. You're feeling more confident about yourself. You're feeling more ready to take on the world. Okay. When your self-esteem is higher, now I'm not talking about being cocky. Nobody needs you, to be overconfident. All right. But to be confident in who you are, to be confident in the strong person that you are, to be confident in the skills that you have, to be confident in the ability to learn the skills that you don't have. Okay. When you have those things, through that positive thinking of, you know what, I don't quite yet know how to do that, but I'm going to learn it. Okay. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to figure that out. All right. That's positive thinking. And that is going to help you. If you go, you know what, I just don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to do it. Well, hello, good morning, sunshine. Okay. Listen, you're not going to be doing yourself any favors if you think in your head that you are not worthy of having success. Okay. If you think, I'm going to say that again, you are not doing yourself any favors by thinking that you are not worthy of success. Because instead what will happen is you will never have it. Because in your head, you will be telling yourself that you will never get it, that you will never reach it, that you don't deserve it, that you shouldn't have it, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. All right? Build your self-esteem up. Build your confidence up. But let me tell you something, that confidence and that self-esteem and that positive thinking about yourself is not going to just fall into your lap. You're going to have to work at it. You are going to have to put forth some effort for that to happen, because the devil wants nothing more than to tear you down and make you feel unworthy. He wants nothing more than to make you think that you have so many limitations, it just does not even work. Exactly. Okay. So you do not want, don't even feed into that. Don't even feed into that. If you know that the Lord would not look at you and tell you that you are unworthy, then know that obviously that thought is coming from elsewhere. Okay. The Lord would never look at you for that. because he has already told you that you are worth more than diamonds and rubies and pearls. Okay. He's already told you that. All right. Exactly. Exactly. The devil wants, yes, yes. The devil, here's the thing, the devil comes to seek and destroy. We've had this conversation over and over and over again. Okay. And I will continue to have it over and over and over again so that people remember that they are constantly under attack. Okay. They're constantly under attack. And it's not even, because here's the thing, who likes to sit around and feel bad about themselves? Anybody? Okay. Put a one in the box if that is the total opposite of what you enjoy. Okay. Nobody wants to sit around and feel bad about themselves. Nobody wants to sit around and pick out all the flaws and all the issues and everything else. All right. My guess is you would much rather prefer the times when you do feel amazing, the times when you have a little bit more swag in your step because you're just feeling good about yourself that day. All right. Those are times that you probably cling to. And that's what you would probably be reminded of, what you would want to be reminded of. Okay. Exactly. Exactly. He looks for the cracks in the foundation and uses those opportunities to try to bring us down. You got it. You got it. Okay. All right. So you need to remember to be proud of who you are, to be proud of who God created you to be, and to work toward being that person. Okay. You have value. God did not take time to make a nobody. Y'all know this. All right. Okay. The other thing that positive thinking helps with is, believe it or not, it provides you with better health. I had depression and worked through that. Now I do feel better and more confident. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. So it provides you with better health. You would be amazed as to the effect that your mind can have over your body. Okay. That's why the whole placebo effect is a thing. Okay. They can tell you, you know what? We're going to give you this pill and it's going to solve everything. Okay. And before you know it, you're taking this pill and you're going, man, I feel great. I feel great. And then you come to find out it's a sugar pill. It has no value to it in terms of being able to cure anything that they gave it to you for. But because you think that something is going to make you feel better, then when you do it, then it's, oh yeah, yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. Okay. What if you just decided that you were just going to feel better anyway? What if you just said, you know, and here's the thing, this is why, as an example, when I get sick, I generally will take 1 day of rest and that's it. It's like, okay, now it's time for me to get up and get moving and get doing this stuff, etc. Because if I were to just lay there thinking about how awful I feel, I'm going to continue to feel awful. Does that make sense? Okay. Does anybody understand that? All right. So you need to be keeping in mind that your mind does have a lot of effect over your body. Okay. So think about that. Think about that. On those days when you're going, man, I really feel like junk. Okay. Instead of focusing on, man, I really feel like junk, go, but you know what? I still have the ability to get up and move. I still have the ability to get up and go do something. I still have the ability to do all these different things. And I know that I probably lost y'all on Periscope again. I'm sorry. Periscope keeps freezing up. So we're just going to continue using the YouTube version, and hopefully you guys will be able to see that and be able to comment on there. Okay. All right. So the other thing is improved relations. So here's the thing. People like happy people. They want to be around people who make them feel good. They want to be around people who bring out the best in them. All right. If you are not a happy person and you are instead choosing to be a negative person, there's a couple things that's going to happen. One, you're going to find that people are not going to want to spend time with you because they feel worse being around you than what they did before they saw you. All right. So if you are constantly a negative person, if you are constantly bad mouthing other people, if you're constantly talking about how awful your life is, if you're constantly talking about all the negative things in your life, instead of talking about the things that you should be grateful for and talking about the things that are blessings in your life, and just speaking words of encouragement into those people, and that kind of thing. If you're not doing those things, you're going to be missing out on a lot of relationships, because here's the thing: people are going to gravitate toward you if you are a positive, happy person. So if you are able to look at yourself and say, you know what, I I really, yeah, I kind of have a negative attitude. I'm kind of a Debbie Downer. Yeah, I probably tend to complain more about my life than what I, praise God for the blessings that I have, and that kind of thing. Then that could be a surefire reason as to why you're not able to build the relationships necessary to truly help you in your business. Okay. If, as an example, for those of us who are in direct sales, if you have a poor attitude, those people are not going to want to invite you into their home and subject their friends and family to your attitude. Okay. So we need to make sure that we are being happy, pleasant people. And this goes for what you choose to post on your social media too. Okay. If your social media is filled with drama, is filled with negativity, is filled with sadness, is filled with all these different things, people are not going to want to join in on that. They're not going to want to be a part of that. Okay. So you're going to want to make sure that whether you are speaking to people in person, whether you are speaking to people on the phone, whether you are posting things on social media, you need to put yourself out there as a positive, encouraging, inspiring kind of person that people want to be near, that people want to spend time with, because that is truly what is going to help you in your business and in your life in general. You're going to feel so much better about your life in general when you get rid of that stinkin' thinking and tell the devil, no, sir, you may not have any parts of my mind, of my heart, of my body. This is all God's. Okay. And when you're willing to do that and you're able to do that, you can then focus on becoming the person that God is already planning for you to develop into. Okay. But of course, we all have free will. So we can choose to go one way or the other. So you just want to make sure that you are leaning on Christ, that you are leaning on what He says about your value, not what the world says, and certainly not what the devil says. Okay. You have value. You are somebody of importance. You are amazing. You are incredible. You can get out there and do all these things. You don't need to have somebody tell you that, but I think it's important for us to hear. Okay. While you shouldn't need anyone to tell you that, because you should already know that from God, it is awesome to be able to hear those things, is it not? Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to leave you with this, that my hope and my prayer for you is that you will learn to love the person you are. And that if you are unhappy with the person that you are because of the negativity, because of the stinking thinking, etc., that you will do your best to ask God to remove those things from your life, from your mind, from your heart, and that you will ask Him to replace those with things that you know are edifying, with things that you know are encouraging and inspiring. And a lot of that has to do with who we choose to surround ourselves with. So if you are surrounding yourself with negative people, that could be where the negative attitude from you is coming from. However, you could also be attracting those negative people into your life because of the attitude that you already have. All right. So remember the law of attraction. All right. If you want more positivity in your life, you need to first become positive, and then you will attract those people to you. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I am going to let y'all go. I'm sorry that Periscope was being so weird this morning, but hopefully you are still going to get a chance to be able to see it right here on the YouTube video. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for popping back and listening. For those of you who were trying to stick with me through the Periscope glitches, thank you so much for your patience. And I look forward to being able to see you guys tomorrow. So you have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.